Okay. All right. Not gonna save. So that's the first page. Are you guys ready with the photo, downloaded photo? I know you need more time. I know today is really hard. You need more time. Huh? Looks like it's the internet. Sometimes I really want to smile. Yes. But we cannot okay. Yeah, I know the NAU sometimes NAU. But just in case I'm recording for now, so you will do recording. So instead of new file, you click open, and find your photo. Find your photo. Arch icon. So I downloaded a photo and open. So open and find your photo you downloaded and open. Okay. Is it still not working? Oh. Sorry. But I will always report it tonight so you can put that in find it. All right. So if you this on the left, you'll see this zoom tool. If you zoom in, you'll see pixels, right? A lot of pixels. And hold Alt key, and you will see minus and plus. You can zoom in and zoom in out. Where to find this one? Here. Called zoom tool. Except on anyone need more time? Opening up. Are you guys ready? Are we good? All right. So first, today we're gonna do really basic. Go to image. Go to image. We're gonna use this image a lot. And click this image size. Let's change the resolution. Setting. Display. Maybe 175. Okay, that might be better. You can see the letter, right? Go to image and hit this image size. Go to image and hit this image size. And you'll see this box, new window. And probably you'll see inches, that's the size. However, if you change the pixel, so that's actually size of your photo, size your photo. So if your photo is more than 1920, remember 1920, try to change 1920. Yeah, it doesn't have to be 1080, but at least the width should be 1920 pixel. And hit OK, so it's gonna increase the size. If you hold spacebar, you can pan around. Again, image size. You can change pixel, inch, centimeter, point. Choose pixel. Width should be 1920 and hit OK. So that means there are 1920, 1920 pixels here. width. Let's go back to image size. Or this is quite important. You see what is called resolution here? Resolution. You see that? Resolution. It has 72 numbers, right? So 92 and 1080, also try to remember this 72. So 72 meaning square inch, there are 72 pixels within a square inch box. This is standard resolution for digital presentation, including website, projector, monitor, wherever you want to present your word photo digitally, you need to keep this resolution. That's the standard size. But if you want to print this out, especially at home, you want to print this out, it's gonna be at least 200 or 300. So 72, again, is the number that's been used as a standard number for web or digital presentation. If you want your photo and you want to go to print shop or at home using home printer, it's gonna be at least 200, 300. That's the standard size. Good. So since we're gonna use web mostly for web, 1920 and try to keep the 72. All good? Any questions so far? I know it's hot. Okay, go back to image. There is also a mode. Image and mode. So if you go to image and mode, we have RGB color check. What does that mean? Anyone? What is RGB stands for? RGB stands for?
Red, green, blue.
Yeah. What about CMYK, the one below? What about CMYK?
Cyan, magenta, yellow, black.
So when do you use RGB and when do you use CMYK? Yeah.
CMYK is for print, RGB is for
Digital presentation, exactly. So 72 and RGB is for digital presentation, which means your computer use red, green, blue, and combine together make colors. However, if you remember your home printer, you probably purchased some inks, which has black ink, and there are 3 different colors, right? Cyan, magenta, and green, and CMY, cyan, magenta. Okay, see, cyan, magenta, white, yellow, yeah. So that's the printers, which is, it's not, so if you, for example, you have a yellow light, not ink, yellow light, no, red light, green light, and blue light. If you combine 3 lights together, it's gonna create a white. If you're gonna combine magenta, which is like kind of pinkish yellow, reddish yellow, and cyan, which is bluish, together it's gonna create black. So home printers use CMYK. Again, if you finish your project and you just print this out with RGB, you're not gonna see the similar color. You're gonna see 5 different colors. So if you know your purpose, if you wanna make your photo and you wanna print this out, make sure you choose CMYK. Good? And 200 and 300 resolution. Good? For website, any other digital presentation, choose RGB. However, that's just for the home printer. A lot of digital, like the professional large scale printer, really doesn't care. Actually, they actually like of the RGB. They have to whole process of matching color between print and monitor. But that's the case for the home printer. All right? Okay. Okay, go back to image now, go back to image. And there are three different options: auto tone, auto contrast, and auto color. Yeah, try to hit this. It will change a little bit. Try to hit this, it will change a little bit. Try to hit this, it will change the color a little bit. Of course, as long as you learn Photoshop from me, do not use auto tone, auto contrast, auto color. That's very unprofessional way to use change contrast and color. Instead, we're gonna use adjustment. We're gonna use this. And there are multiple things. First, you can click brightness and contrast. So if you increase brightness and increase contrast, or lower the contrast, lower the brightness, yeah, you can, just contrast and brightness. Yeah, try to play with that. But instead of click OK, just play with it and click cancel. There are something called also level, which does the same thing, but slightly differently. So you see a graph, you see a three kind of cursor. So if you bring this here in the middle and bring this down, you increase contrast and you change the middle ground. What's the sound? Okay. So that's another way by adjusting this, sometimes this and that, you can change the brightness and contrast as well, which means this one has more options, more detailed options than just contrast and brightness, change contrast and brightness, which is one of my favorite ways to change the contrast and brightness instead of directly using the contrast. I'm gonna cancel it again. Also, a lot of people, professional people, prefer to use curves, And you can, using curves. So if you, for example, if you try to make an S, we will increase the contrast. If you bring this little up, it's not gonna be completely black. It's gonna be, make the black into slightly grayish. Same thing, if you're gonna have white, slightly goes down. So it's not gonna completely white, it's gonna be slightly grayish. This has been used a lot, especially when you make a video. This is really great to use for color grading in these videos. But Photoshop, I actually prefer using curves, but you're welcome to use curve to explore. I prefer to use level. But all these three does the same, technically the same thing. First, brightness contrast, simplest one, but has less, detailed control. The curves has, the more details. Any questions so far? Yes. Any questions? No questions? Easy, right? Easy. What about hue and saturation? Click this hue and saturation. So saturation means if you increase your saturation, it's going to be really bright color. If you're going to decrease saturation, it's going to be light and white. You can change specific color. So master change everything. If you choose red, it's gonna only affect the red color. If you choose blue, it's gonna affect only the blue area. Go back, just hue saturation. Or try to change the hue and see what color combination you like. Or choose specific color and change the hue. This is another way you can change color and saturation. Easy, right? Good. Any questions so far? No question? Okay. Are you guys ready? You need more time? Ready? Okay. Go back to image and adjustment. And click this color balance. So you see cyan and red, magenta and green, and yellow, blue. They're on the same bar, which is because they are opposite colors. That means if you increase red, you decrease cyan. If you increase magenta, you decrease green. You increase green, you decrease magenta. You increase blue, you decrease yellow. You can change shadow area, midtones, and highlights as well. That is another way you can change the color by changing, here is this, colors. Good? Very good. Any questions so far? Okay. And go back to image and adjustments again. Then instead of color balance, select the bottom here, selective colors. Selective color. So previously, use magenta and green, you decrease green, and you increase magenta, vice versa, right? But instead, you can choose specific color, red, whatever color you want. And within this red areas, you can increase cyan, decrease magenta, yellow, and black. So let's say there are a lot of blue, so decrease, you see color changes. So this is more detailed way to change some color. Of course, try to change absolute. There's some minor changes between relative and absolute, but try. So you can have more control in terms of changing colors. We're using that. Good? Yes? No? Good? All right. I'm gonna cancel this too. Image assessment. Okay, they're also interesting. Let's click invert. Let's call invert. It's just invert color. Same thing. Image assessment. Polarize, which is also interesting. Yeah, it's it does some strange changes, minor changes. Of course, I'm not gonna use it. There's some other tools, but these are the tools that I just use. I mostly use change color and contrast and highlights. Are good? Good? Yes? Easy, right? Almost 1 hour, I can't believe. So what I'm going to do, I want you to do, for example, if you play with it, you can make something a little more artistic, like change this, you change the contrast a little bit. So you can make something very artistic, for example, and you want to save it, go to File, make sure you save, instead of save, since this is a single layer, I'll explain layer later, make sure you hit this export and export as. I'm gonna explain a little later. If you save it with lots of layers, we'll cover later. You're gonna save as Photoshop file, which is not an image. You cannot upload a Photoshop file onto your social media website. You have to export the Photoshop file as an image. So click this export and export as. And there's PNG and JPEG are the two most commonly used format for an image. So I would choose JPEG, 1920, whatever. Just make it a little smaller. And export. It's gonna ask you where to locate. Make sure you're gonna save on your cloud, USB, and external hard drive, and save. Okay, let's change the name. Change the name and save. And go back and check. Your photo is saved. View large icon. I believe it's saved. Yeah, it's saved here. And also, for now, if you just save it, it's gonna save as an image. But when you have, we're gonna cover layers later. You're gonna ultimately save as a Photoshop file, which means it's called PSD. It's not JPG. It's gonna be PSD. When you save as Photoshop file as PSD, you can go back and edit it again. If you just save JPEG, export JPEG without saving PSD, which is Photoshop file, you cannot go back and edit it again. So it's always good to save both Photoshop file and the desired export file. And what we did today is called destructive editing, which is not a good way to edit photos. We're gonna cover next Wednesday. Monday we don't have class, it's NA holiday. On Wednesday, we're gonna cover non-destructive editing process. So even though you feel uncomfortable editing photo, probably you're not familiar with non-destructive editing process. If you're not, please follow the instructions, which is actually quite important. This is more amateur way to edit photos. And a lot of Photoshop, professional Photoshop, they edit non-destructive way. We're gonna cover next Wednesday and save it here. Because you're gonna show your photo to your boss and it's gonna change something. You cannot start from scratch. It's gotta be changeable editing process. So if you're not familiar with, even though you know Photoshop well, if you're not familiar with non-destructive way, yeah, follow the instruction on Wednesday. So I'll stop recording. I'm gonna upload the recording today.